Okay, in this video I want to talk to you a little bit about our DRT device that we sell and the way that it can be configured and what some of its uses might be. The device itself is run using this little microcontroller. This little microcontroller allows us to collect microsecond response time to a stimulus. So we have two 3.5 millimeter jacks on the device, and that's where you plug in the stimulus and then the response button. On the side we have a little screw terminal there with 4 slots. Two of the pins there, one goes high when a response is made, another goes high when a stimulus is on, another is ground, and another is 3.3 volts. So you can use that port then to very precisely synchronize the stimulus and response provided by the DRT unit with third-party hardware. And then the device just uses a micro USB to plug into your computer. The ISO standard DRT comes with a vibration motor, and this just buzzes to provide the stimulus, to which a participant then just clicks their response button. ISO standard also comes with a head mounted LED. So this LED is mounted on a little boom there, and you can see the LED there. It turns red when the stimulus is provided, and that just mounts on a participant's head with this elastic Velcro. It also includes a remote LED stimulus. This is the remote stimulus. It can be mounted flush against any surface. A couple different ways of mounting it. If the cord isn't long enough, you can use an extension cable, a 3.5 mil standard audio extension cable to run it out as far as you need to go. Our kit also ships with 2 response buttons, very thin, low profile response buttons that don't get in the way and make a nice satisfying click. In addition, we offer, for completeness, an auditory stimulus. This isn't part of the ISO standard, but it does provide means by which you can provide, a tonal stimulus to participants if for some reason one of the other stimuli isn't appropriate for the setup. Okay. When you plug the DRT device in, it pops up immediately on our user interface. Shows you which COM port it's connected to, and then it provides an empty graph which can give us some information once we start data collection. In the upper right hand corner of the device, the little ... box there provides some information for the configuration. So this current configuration follows the ISO standard, which has a stimulus onset duration of 1,000 milliseconds, an upper limit of 5,000 milliseconds or 5 seconds, and a lower limit of 3,000 milliseconds or 3 seconds. So basically what this will do is it will cause the stimulus to come on for 1 second, and then there's a random number that's drawn between 3 and 5 seconds, which will indicate the onset of the next stimulus. So all stimuli will be presented in a chain every 3 to 5 seconds with this configuration. And that configuration, of course, can be changed here. When a configuration is changed, we can upload it and it instantly takes in the device. Okay. So we'll go back to ISO just by clicking ISO there. You can change the stimulus intensity if you find it's vibrating too hard, or if it's too bright, blinding participants, you can turn down the stimulus intensity with a slider and then upload the settings. Okay. Close that out. All right, so when we run an experiment, first of all, we create an experiment here. We navigate to the location where we would like to save this data. I'm happy with this. We're in this folder called New, which is a great place for this folder. We're going to select it, and all data will now be saved to New. Notice that when we select a folder, immediately our video starts recording so that we can record sort of all aspects of the experiment, the data collection. Okay, the DRT device is now ready to collect some data. Of course, we need to attach a response button so that we can respond to a stimulus, and then a stimulus. Click that in there. All right, so now I've gone ahead and I've attached a vibrotactile stimulus and a response button, and we're going to collect some data. So we'll click play. Notice the light changed on the DRT. The light on the device follows the stimulus, so you can use that for recording when the stimulus is provided in a video or some other source. So now in this video file, I can tell exactly when a stimulus is given, even if I can't hear it or otherwise see it. So the vibration motor is going off at the same time that little light turns on. Respond to it as soon as I feel it here. Okay, as soon as I respond, the motor turns off and the light turns off. Let me start collecting some data. This device is very sensitive to workload. We've used it with thousands of subjects, tens of thousands of data collection hours. We've looked at all types of user interfaces, all types of workloads, and we found it to be, in many cases, more sensitive than really anything else, any other tool that we've used. And we've used lots. We've used EEG systems, other physio systems, heart rate variability, subjective mental workload. And the DRT it has been our champion. It's a very sensitive tool. As workload goes up, response time also goes up. See how quickly I can respond. Oh, false alarm. All right, so got some data there. We're going to go ahead and end that now. Ending the data collection there. We're going to end the experiment. Video just stopped recording. So in this experiment, we collected video of the experimental session. We collected some data, which I'll show you in a minute, and video of myself, of course, talking away here. We could have collected key flags, which help us to understand different aspects of the experiment and kind of demarcate different aspects of the experiment. We could have collected notes, which you didn't. We didn't provide a condition name. I go over those in other videos. Okay, let's open up the last save file location where we collected this. And quickly, you'll see there's me describing this thing here in the 2-minute video. Here's me showing the DRT, the different parts of the DRT. We can fast forward through that. And here's our data that we collected from the device. So in this case, we had just one DRT device plugged in. If we wanted to collect data on multiple, we can do that. As many DRTs as we have ports for. Here's the DRT marker here that shows which device the data were collected from. Then we have the time. We have the block, the trial number. We have the number of clicks that were made. We have the milliseconds since the experiment began. We have reaction time, and we have key flags and notes. This can more easily be visualized in an Excel file. We can see how everything lines up. Okay, so when an experiment begins, we get a timestamp. When a trial begins, we get a timestamp. The block goes up by 1. The DRT started giving us stimuli. It looks like we collected 23, received a total of 23 stimulus. I didn't respond to the last one. I didn't respond to several of the first ones. You see no click. You also see a miss here indicated by a -1. There's my response time for those middle stimuli. And there's the milliseconds counter from the stimulus or from the beginning of that block. We ended the block there, collected a timestamp at the end of the block. There was one more DRT trial that came in after that block was ended. And then we ended the event or the experiment there at the end of the file. So we have a complete record of the experiment start-stop, the block start-stop, and all of the DRT reaction time trials. So in order to make any sense of this data, we'd just look at the reaction time here. We'd throw out the misses. We'd look at the valid reaction times here. Throw out or trim out any outliers following, the ISO standard protocol, and we'd get a single number for this participant to understand sort of their workload during whatever activity. So that's the DRT in a nutshell. No, I don't want to save you. Don't save. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out to me. You can call me on my cell. You can actually directly just email me as well. That's fine. My information is listed up here in Help about Red Scientific. There's my phone number. There's my email address. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you very much.